It's unfortunate we're in these situations to begin with. Obviously, we do have a difficult situation upon us. I believe there's been a lot of miscues and overreaction by the administration that's put us in a far worse position than we could have been with a little more common sense to support the business community. I just wonder if the budget chair, sponsor of the bill, might take a question or two on the bill.
Assemblywoman Pinto-Marin.
Yes, Mr. DiMaio.
Madam Chair, would you support an alternate to borrowing that would supply the state with revenues it needs and would not create debt?
I'm sorry, Assemblyman DiMaio. Can you repeat the question?
That's a theoretical question, isn't it?
Yeah, well, if we work on other options, we may be able to do that. Would you support an alternative to borrowing that would supply the state with revenues it needs and that would not create debt? Does it seem reasonable?
We would be happy to take a look at any alternatives other than having to borrow.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Through the Speaker, I appreciate your support of today's bill and your determination to help New Jersey. We share that determination, but I won't reiterate the opposition to your method of replacing revenues. I've been talking to our federal partners, talking to some of the members here, leadership, about an option where we would maybe take the administration up on their tax holiday thing. If they would do that, it'd be a way that we could change our tax code and yet still pass on a tax cut to our residents and hopefully avoid, most likely avoid, the need to borrow. On the bill, Mr. Speaker.
On the bill.
Taking on more debt is not a way to get out of debt. As Assemblyman Wirth pointed out earlier with regard to that dreadful decision that Governor Whitman made many years ago, out of $2.7 billion, we still owe $2 billion after all those years. It is quite simple, Mr. Speaker. We cannot borrow our way out of debt. We have a shortfall problem this legislation attempts to address by creating shortfall problems for many years into the future. We need federal relief, as this bill aims to provide, through loans, and that is achievable without loans. This bill is an effort we can all agree with, fixing a revenue problem, but it is being addressed irresponsibly. Let's work with the federal government to provide relief not through direct spending, but a tax cut for our middle class where the state reaps equal, if not greater benefit. My plan would provide more revenue than this borrowing bill would, while providing more income for our taxpayers. And if we don't support that, then politics has poisoned the well that provides water to our constituents. Many would say that my idea is not feasible. It is not supposed to be feasible that bills of such great magnitude, like today, and effect on our state, be passed with little public notice and without the majority party even knowing the effects of it. But the first iteration of this bill passed only 2 hours after being made available to the public. Feasibility has to do with the will to get the job done. This bill has the backing of leadership of the majority party, and we can accomplish the goals of this bill without all of the negative consequences of our taxpayers will have to suffer for years while they struggle to provide for their kids an at-home education because they can't afford the internet. This bill adds to their money problems because it is inevitable. Regressive taxes will have to be hiked to pay for the debt because regressive taxes bring in the most revenue for government. An alternate to this bill provides more revenue that could be borrowed and provides a tax cut to the middle class. This bill would be used to pay debt and school funding. My plan provides the resources to fully fund our education formula, our pension obligation, property tax relief, and so on as a result. Today's bill takes out references to local governments, while the alternate plan I proposed would help them out along the way with the state. I believe my plan is more feasible than this bill, and for all those reasons. Mr. Speaker, in my humble opinion, this is the lazy way out. Thank you. I will be a no on the bill. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.